And I am Dennis Jar.
And I am Anthony C.A. and a pleasant welcome to yet another edition of the Hour of Politics. And you know, I am always your host. Welcome. In this edition, we have an official of CDC-COP. So today's discussion will be on the CDC-COP 8 recent activities, position on political issues in Liberia. And we have in studio as guest Mr. Fode M. Mansakwe, who is the Secretary General of CDC-COP. Mr. Mansakwe, it's good to have you. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. How are you doing?
Thank you. And thank you so much, Mr. CA, for the opportunity. It is great. I've had my own difficulties at times. And like today when you were talking, you said, Fode, I don't even trust this process. But like I promised, it's always a privilege when we have such an opportunity to come on the platform where we can speak to our people, we can speak to the ordinary Liberians, we can speak to those people in the diaspora. It is great. And thank you so much for the platform. You have been doing extremely well alongside your team. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the sentiment shared. Liberia is our common denominator. And as a media institution, we want to talk to everybody because the country belongs to everybody. Every institution that has interest in the forward march of our country, the politician will say, we want to talk to them because only us and us only can move this country forward. If you are just joining us, of course, this is the Hour of Politics. Do us that usual favor. Share the broadcast with your contacts. CDC-COP has been in the news. They are active politically. And the Secretary General is the right person to talk with now because he does all the writing. We've seen a lot of letters. Of recent, they have two communications out there. They call them powerful communications. But we will go back a little bit. Some people may not know the CDC-COP. So, Mr. Mansakwe, let's get started here. For those who don't know you, who are you? What role you play at CDC-COP?
Well, if you can remember, 2 years to 3 years ago, a group of young people resigned from the CPP-COP, that is held by Henry Pedro Costa, and saw the utmost necessity to join ranks with the government of the day with a clear mandate, a mandate that says, in as much that they are patriots who believe that this country must go forward, and there are other people on the far left who believe that they should insult the president, that they should undermine the government, that they should plan 21 evil political strategies. When those group of young people resigned from the CPP-COP, we formulated the CDC-COP with a sonal manifesto of helping the government to succeed. And since then, since our resignation, the CDC-COP have gone on to have 7 different county leadership. We have leadership in Basso, we have leadership in Bon County, we have leadership in Mangibi, we have leadership in Nimba County, we have leadership in Kitman, we have leadership in Lofa, and we also have leadership in Maserati. So if you look at the CDC-COP is Liberia's first and only civil rights political movement that support the country's agenda, not individual. On the contrary, not individual. But for us, we believe in the peace and stability of this country at the CDC-COP. We believe that when there is peace, then people can come and cross-pollinate political ideas. Mr. Say, when there is no peace in this country today, I will not have the opportunity of having data, or I will not have the opportunity of having electricity to be on this platform. It will not be possible. So for us, we believe that if political processes must go on, it got to be done through a peaceful and harmonized manner. And that is what the CDC-COP stands for.
Thank you. Earlier, you said the CPP-COP. I am now aware that the COP funded by Henry Pedro Costa was or is a CPP-COP. Why are you calling it CPP-COP?
I would not want to go back because I believe the issues of today are very much pertinent. They are important that we must get key irrelevant to. But to answer your question, as we are having this conversation now, Henry Costa seems to be the de facto spokesperson of the opposition Unity Party. Doesn't that justify that the COP of Costa is an opposition of CPP-COP? It is very clear, Mr. C. That particular COP is for the backward.
Well, the Unity Party is no longer part of the CPP now. So why are you still calling it that way?
Because it still have an image of the opposition. Or better still, you can say the UPC. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Masakwa, we lost your audio there. I know you are speaking, but we're not hearing you. Let's just hope that improves. Folks in cyberspace, please bear with us here. I think we will regain his audio. Focus on Liberia. Anthony C. The Hour of Politics. If you have just joined us, please hit that share button. For the M. Masakwa, Secretary General of CDC-COP, is my guest. Mr. Masakwa, let us try again. Can you continue with what you were saying earlier?
Like I was saying,
Excellent.
Are you getting me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, if you don't want us to say CPP, because of how disorganized, and they have division, group of old field political remnants that cannot even agree on a presidential ticket, then we can say Unity Party COP, because as I speak to you, the chairman of that particular COP is currently a spokesperson of the Unity Party. So it's very fair enough to say the Unity Party COP.
Thank you. So this CDC-COP, what was it actually funded for? To do what?
Like I said, when you look at the historicity of Council of Patriots, Council of Patriots, a group of people that come together in oneness to say, look, our nation is more important than our individual feelings. So, brother, if you are a true and genuine patriot, you are only a patriot if you look at your government building roads. You say, look, Mr. President, the road should not only be limited to mortuary, the road should be as far as local. That's what makes you a patriot. When you are a patriot, a true patriot, when the government is
folks in cyberspace, please bear with us. As many of you are aware, connectivity always tends to be an issue in Liberia. Our guest, Mr. Masakwa, is joining us from Monrovia, Liberia. He is Secretary General of CDC-COP. Bear with us. More than likely, the situation, his connection will improve, and we will continue with the discussion. Of course, I'm also sincere. Of course, this is Focus on Liberia, the Hour of Politics, where we discuss national political issue affecting and shaping the destiny of our country, Liberia. So COP was funded some time back. Some of you may remember. It became a recognized, political pressure group in our country. And the Secretary General, Foley Masakwa, was one of the young leaders in that CDC-COP that we all know to have been funded by Mr. Henry Pedro Costa. At some point, Foley and others resigned, and in no time, we saw them on the side of the CDC, and then they funded what is now called the CDC-COP. And this CDC-COP, many have come to believe that it is more like an auxiliary of the CDC. It has taken positions. In some instances, some CDC folks try to walk away from. So I'm hoping that Mr. Foley is going to join us as we continue on the discussion. He just fell off. He certainly is going to join us for us to continue this conversation. And there's something while we wait for Mr. Masakwa. This CDC-COP, I believe was last year, January, when, not January, but July 26th celebration, Independence Day celebration, was approaching. The Vanguard Student Unification Party had organized a planned protest that they call Fix the Country. And upon the CDC-COP hearing about this rally, a peaceful protest by the Vanguard Student Unification Party that they had called Fix the Country, they came up with a counter-protest called We Are is Fixing the Country. And they will go to print banners. And the records are there that they chase members of the Student Unification Party from the campuses of the University of Liberia. I believe it was on the very day of the protest. And on the day of that protest, July 26, 2022, there was some kind of a violent engagement between the CDC-COP and the Vanguard Student Unification Party that led to the brutalization of one of the students from the Student Unification Party in person of Christopher Susulu. And that became, a serious issue on that very day. So I'm hoping Mr. Masakwa can come. But this CDC-COP has written two communications, one to the Ministry of Justice and another one to the United States Embassy near Monrovia, specifically talking about the recent armed robbery attack at the home of former Chief Justice Gloria Monson-Scott. And they have some things to say and some position they have taken. And that's why we also want to talk about Foley is making effort to rejoin us. He's just sent me a message here. Let me respond to him. So yeah, I'm trying to tell Foley to come right back. And so folks, so while we wait for Foley, as I was explaining, Christopher Waters Susulu got brutalized. And those accused were members of the CDC-COP. And people demanded that they be held accountable. I know they were invited later on by the national police. I mean, according to them, they have turned themselves in and they had a conversation with the police. People demanded their arrest because many people believe it was clear they were the one who meted the violence against Christopher Waters Susulu and some other students on that fateful July 26, 2022. So Foley, if you are listening to the show, you need to join in. You fell off. All you need to do is to join in. Please join in again so that we can continue this conversation. Please join in again so we can continue this dialogue. And folks, bear with us here. So on that day, that's what happened. But then prior to the violence, the Secretary General now, Foley, had this.
We'll drop them. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wherever you are, from the lands of the thousand hills, from the geographical and territorial expansion of our country, Liberia, we want to say a warmest revolutionary salutation to you. This is a very quick one. We thought it was to inform our people.
So folks, as you can see that last year, the CDC-COP at some point was able to chase members of the Student Unification Party out of the campuses of the University of Liberia. My guest for this right there speaking. And as you can see above the video there, you see SUP, founded October 1970, Vanguard Student Unification Party. That is right before the office of the Student Unification Party. The students were chased. They seized the offices of the Student Unification Party, and then they mounted their banner, as you can see behind him. And then he was addressing
the ordinary massive, those people who believe in the maintenance and the sustenance of our peace and our democracy, people who believe that Liberia, being a country of democracy, should exhibit what we call the demonstrative simplification of true democracy. So the CDC Council of Patriots, in its uniqueness, thought it was that today's date, July 26th, is not just a normal day. It is a day set aside by our forefathers, our founding fathers, who laid down their lives for the necessity of our existence and the forwardness of our state. So it's always important that we do recognize this particular day. We celebrate this day in peace and in harmony. Like I said, in peace and in harmony. Well, we listen to people who have been children of misinformation and disinformation, telling us that and informing our people about what is not happening. But we, as National Secretary General of the CDC Council of Patriots, Liberia BK Civil Rights Political Movement, we want to say this to you very clearly. We have taken seat of the University of Liberia campus. The CDC Council of Patriots.
So, folks, my guest, according to him, he's making effort to join in. I just want to keep you engaged in his absence, and as he comes in, I will be able to ask him questions. There he is saying they had taken siege of the campuses of the University of Liberia. His argument is that today or that day was Liberia's Independence Day. Why should anybody have a protest on Liberia's Independence Day when we should be celebrating? I wonder he has taken into consideration, is any citizen's right to decide what to do on that day? Anybody has a right to say, I'm not celebrating Liberia's Independence Day. That is their right to do so. So the Vanguard Student Unification Party had organized, fixed the country. They had argued that, well, given the challenges that the country, has been facing economically, there was no need to spend so much money on July Day celebration. That was an argument. It's a law in democracy, dissent, right? And they felt that they were not in their right to do so. And so not only did they do everything to prevent them from exercising their democratic right to protest on that day, they seized their offices, chased them out of the campuses of the University of Liberia. And so let's listen to 44.
Is in charge, CDC Council of Patriots is in charge of the University of Liberia campus. Being the nation's premier university, we believe that this place should be a breeding ground. It should be the factory where decent people should be taught. That is why, President, we are taught it was to say, look, all of the public universities in the country should be free. We are pouring for that. So, malnourished limbrins and reckless boys in khakis who believe that it is their...
So why was Foley's argument then that because the University of Liberia was declared tuition free by the president, the students under the banner of the Student Unification Party got no right to protest as guaranteed in the Constitution, under our Constitution, because they have free tuition now, so they didn't have to protest? Was that his argument? Is that why he had to seize their offices and chase them out of campus? Let's listen to him further.
It is their thought to be misled by people, want to misinform our people who say no to that. So the University of Liberia campus is honor the guardians and the leadership of the CDC Council of Patriots.
So the campuses of the University of Liberia, according to him, was under siege, under the guardianship of the CDC-COP. What authority? I mean, what is the CDC-COP? Is it a paramilitary arm of the government? Is it a law enforcement agency of the government? What is it, a governmental arm of our country? If not, who have authorized or given it the right to chase their fellow students out of the campus, seize their office? I mean, can you listen to this? I just hope further will come, so that, because they have written letters that we have to discuss, but I have been trying to get further for him to address himself to these things, that this action that will carry on by them, and I will not hesitate to ask them the question, is the right thing to do? He can decide what he wants to talk about, but we can also decide to ask him the right question. I'm sure he believed they did the right thing. Their action was appropriate at the time. They acted in good faith, according to, I believe he feels that they acted in the interest of the country. So he should be prepared to talk about that. I just hope he can join in. And this will be quick. Then we'll get to the letters that, they sent out, one to the Ministry of Justice and also another one to the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia. And they were talking about, the attack on Gloria Monsoon's Scout, that people are trying to put politics into it. People are, carrying out. I mean, I don't want to jump into it. Fully, if you are listening to the broadcast, please come in and let us continue on this interview. I think this is a very good opportunity for you to answer questions that critics or those who disagree with you, I will want to believe legitimately have that you can be able to address. I believe you might pride yourself as a leader in our country, a student leader. You are part of, I think you said your group is one of Liberia's largest pressure group. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. We want to give you the opportunity. We really want to give you the opportunity to address yourself to this briefly, and then we will go to the communications that you sent out.
To you, so we remain peaceful. We are here in our multiplication, in our thousand, to ensure that we gather here, to send a very strong message out there to anyone. If you believe the university campus for you, we too, we are here. Majority of our comrades are students of the University of Campus. So there's a quick clarity we want to make. Someone said that this Vanguard Unification Party headquarters have been attacked. No. Yes, it is true that we have taken siege of the University of Liberia campus, concomitantly the Vanguard Unification Party headquarters. But as you can see, like to their myth, on the top of vandalization, you can see the lag here, right? You can see the lag here, right? The lag is here, is intact. You can see the badge, you can see the office. So it is peaceful. Those lesser boys have escaped. They have nowhere to be found. They escaped. So instead of them being honest to say they have run away, their protests have no such thing in it, they have been rejected.
And that's the thing. He said they've been chased. And then another time he said they ran away. So I don't know which to believe. So if he's saying who chased them, I mean, they've been chased, then the question is who chased them? I mean, was it the CDC-COP that chased them? More than likely, because that is why they told siege, according to him, of their office right there. And in a matter, it's almost like a coup d'etat. These are young people. These are future leaders of our country. And Foley and others on this CDC-COP felt that it was prudent to chase their friend out of their own campus, take control of their office. And he's talking about the University of Liberia under the guardianship of CDC-COP. What is guardianship, by the way? Who gave you the authority to take guardianship of the University of Liberia? Who are you? What is your institution? I mean, young people to be doing this in the name of politics, whatever the reasons they have for doing what they do. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, how do you feel that you chase your friends, seize their offices, and then you say you are addressing the nation and you call yourself peaceful and you're showing us a lock? So you lock the office, or if you didn't lock it, they left it locked, and now you are denying them access and you think that is peaceful? Denying somebody access to their own office? Is that peaceful? If you are preventing somebody from entering their own house, that is not peaceful. I don't know what is peace anymore with what this young man is saying. So there are a lot of questions that people ask. Others see the CDC-COP as a regime apologist being used by some officials in the government and some hierarchies in the CDC to carry out fear tactics against, their perceived rivals or political enemies, so to speak. And so they had their campaign that we are fixing the country. They could have just, carry on their protests and allow their friends to do theirs. That is a competition there. They could carry on the debate, but that did not happen. And one would want to know who actually funded their rally. Their rally, Weah is facing the country, and at some point, President Weah said he had no knowledge of what CDC-COP actually was. I don't know if he has knowledge now. So that is it. And one would think, under whose instruction were they acting at the time? Their banner, their logo carries CDC. Was it CDC that had given instruction to the CDC-COP to have carried on this action?
They have done a natural political perpetual that before inflation, they are nowhere around. So their party is here, it's one of the guardians of the CDC Council of Patriots. No rumors, no fake. You can see it for yourself. That is how they misinform the people. To our international partners, to the American people, to the Swedish embassy, to the American embassy, to the AU, the EU, all of our international friends. We can assure you that being Liberia's biggest ever political movement, we will ensure we will maintain the peace and stability on this campus here to the fullest. And we want to send this out.
And so you heard it there, Liberia's biggest civil rights organization in the country, and that they will maintain the peace. I mean, is that, what kind of constitution give you the authority to maintain the peace of the country? How? By chasing orders and denying them the right to protest? These are some questions that Foley can really help us here to understand. How they became Liberia's biggest civil rights organization. How? And how are they maintaining the peace? And who gave them authority to maintain the peace? They should have their way of doing it. And I just want to understand, it's just out of curiosity here. Mr. Masakwe? Foley? Foley was in here. I don't know what really happened. But anyway, let me go to the next thing here that Foley and I should have talked about, and it seems to be he's having difficulties coming in still. So this CDC-COP now has written 2 letters, one to the U.S. Embassy and another one to the Justice Minister. Fodo is calling me on the phone here. Bear with me, and I'm not getting him. Let me see if I can call him from this phone. Yeah, Fodo, if you hear me, you should call me on WhatsApp instead. The messenger seems not to be working. Folks, bear with me here quickly. Bear with me here quickly. Let me see if I can get Foley on this phone. Foley, I'm calling you. So, folks, bear with us here. I'm trying to get Foley on the phone. So while I wait for Foley, let me see if I can take a break here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after this.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
Hey, I'm Anthony C. I'm back with you. As you can hear, I'm calling Foley on WhatsApp here. We can continue this interview on the phone with him, but the phone is ringing from my end here. I know he tried to call by. Foley, let me call him again and see if he will answer here. So the CDC-COP penned 2 letters, as I was trying to tell you, and one to the Ministry of Justice and another one to the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia. And in their communication that I have on the screen, one of the things that they have said is that the First Amendment of the United States of America provides substantial breathing space for sharp and sardonic political rhetoric. However, it does not protect speech that possesses an imminent danger of physical injury to individuals or group. Under the First Amendment, speakers do not have the right to communicate serious threats, swing in disinformation, or disseminate false accusation without evidence, or incite imminent lawless action where that action is likely to lead to chaos because of misinformation that might end in civil unrest. Basically, in their communication, they are asking the U.S. government to now provide space to Councilor Jerome Vardia, who I understand is a resident of the United States, because Councilor Vardia is accusing Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Tamakoji has been the mastermind behind the attack at the home of former Justice Minister Gloria Monsu-Scott that led to the death of her daughter. Jerome is saying the whole thing was done upon the instruction of Jefferson Koji. So the CDC-COP is saying, hey, America, the rhetoric coming from Jerome Vardia has the propensity, the both people will say, to bring chaos into this country. And so you who promotes free speech and freedom, what is true, you guarantee that, but to the extent which it breeds instability, you can't sit out of it by and don't act. So they are calling on the United States government, based on their letter they sent to the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia, to act and now provide a space for Jerome Vardia to speak whatever he has to say. Fode is calling here. Mr. Masakwa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right. Thank you so very much for the effort that you continue to make. So before we get to your letters, we are is facing a country rally or protest was more like a counter protest to the Student Unification Party organized protest last year in July. That President we actually faced the country and there was no need for a July 26 celebration. That led to conflict. One of the students, Susulu, got brutalized, I believe some others. And meaning the CDC-COP, was accused of being the one who mentored the violence against Susulu and others. Talk to me. Why did you seize, according to your words, you seized the campuses of the University of Liberia at the time? Where did you get that authority from? Were you doing the right thing at the time?
The first thing, Mr. C, is siding for us to continue to swim in misinformation.
Okay.
That is why currently our campaign says that misinformation is a very personal tools that people use to deepen character, to incite violence and so forth. All of what you said, they are all misinformation. There were no counter protests. Those things are no such things. You witnessed a video.
Yeah.
You saw a video. The University of campus. So it is quite unfortunate if you want to believe that there were anything of such. But like I said earlier, misinformation is very much important. That is why we need to stop misinformation. Our understanding, interpretation of things, from a political standpoint, is not the way out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Misinformation should be discouraged at every length. The question I asked you, I was wishing you would address that question. You seized the campus of the University of Liberia at the time. Where did you get that authority from?
It's another form of misinformation.
No, your words. No, your own words.
If you say misinformation, that's another form of misinformation. Like I said, you, Mr. Sai, it's also your right to go on the University of Liberia campus at any time as you wish. Also, so in your own word, when you say we are taking charge of, is that offensive? Is that not democratic? Is that against the culture of Liberia? But to say we need to stop this issue of misinformation.
You are not answering my question. You are not answering my question. My question is, do you have the right to stop? Because in your own words, I played a video earlier. You said they ran away. We chased them. The University of Liberia is under our guardianship. What authority got you to chase other students out of the campuses of the University of Liberia, seize their office in your own words? I played a video for people to listen. Where you got that authority from?
Your interpretation of a video being played is wrong. That is the first thing that you didn't do due diligence to. Firstly, you have a group of students who are in the consistent habit of organizing violence, Mami Wata. Shortly, that's why I wanted to be on the video, because you cannot play a video and try to give wrong interpretation of it. It's wrong. That's not the ethics of journalism.
I'm asking you a question. Only if you will understand, I'm asking you a question.
No. Well, let's say you ask a question. Let me in.
Go ahead and answer the question.
With disrupt classes, there's a video that I will send you shortly of a protest.
Mr. Masakwa, the question I asked you is simple. the Student Unification Party have had a lot of protests on the campuses of the University of Liberia that led to this disruption of classes. No argument about that. But my question is...
Also, you know that, Rev?
I just said it because I know that. And please bear with me.
Mr. C,
Fully.
When you invite the guests,
Fully. Let us not go back and forth. Fully.
You either be the interviewer or the interviewer. Can we go to the discussion of it? Can we go to this communication? I think that is there and done.
And so just answer the very simple question. My simple question is, yes, I agree. SU have organized protests on the campuses of the University of Liberia that led to the disruption of classes. No argument about that. You understand? And I'm asking you now, that is one of the things that you detest. So does that give you right to chase them out of the campuses of the University of Liberia, seize their offices? Does that give you right? And if so, what authority got you now to do so? That's the question I'm asking you.
All right. Okay. A simple answer to your question.
Mm-hmm.
When the Student Unification Party will receive 10,000 United States dollars from opposition political leaders to stage a violent protest on the day of independence, the day that you and I should be celebrating the peace and stability and the forwardness and existence of Liberia, when a group of students receive 10,000 United States dollars from opposition political leader to organize a chaotic scene as a citizen of Liberia, has fought the massacre. It is my right and responsibility to safeguard the peace of this country.
And who gave you that right?
It is the right enshrined within the Constitution of Liberia. You should go read that.
Are you a law enforcing authority in Liberia to do so?
And do you need to be a law enforcement officer before you go at the University of Liberia campus?
No, I'm not talking about going there. To stop others from doing what you claim to be wrong, you have to be a law enforcing authority to do so. You're not police to do so.
No. It's enshrined within the country of Liberia that all citizens at all times have their right to assemble.
Mm-hmm.
The CDC-Council of Patriots, assemble were peaceful. That have been proven.
And so the same law you quoting, that what they were exercising.
You agree with me? You agree with me one time that SUP organized a series of violent protests on the University of Liberia campus that have led to the loss of properties, the disruption of classes. You agree to that. But you want this to be established that it is wrong for 40. No, it's not wrong for 40 massacre to go on the campus. And at any day, at any time, 40 massacre will go on the University of Liberia campus because it is a campus for all students. You should get that very clear.
Do you have the right to chase your fellow students out of the campus under the banner of CDC-COP? Do you have the right to do so?
I have a right as a citizen of Liberia to go on the University of Liberia campus. We didn't chase anyone. We were there as citizens, as our own right to be there too, Mr. C.
According to your own words, according to your own words, your own video, you were speaking and you said we chased them, they ran away.
Apparently, that's your. You see, we have figurative expression, we have literary expression. Somebody might say, pass away. Your own interpretation of that particular phrase, it doesn't mean you have the monopoly over the understanding of that, Mr. C. So all I think
right. All right, let's go to your letters.
You have a political issue.
Let's go to your letters for them.
Your audience issue that you got to go to. I think we should not be going backward.
So finally, Comrade Susulu was brutalized on that day as a result of your counter protest that you call "We Are" is facing the country.
There were no counter protests.
Do you share?
There were no counter protests.
Do you share any responsibility for what happened to Susulu? Do you regret anything that happened on that day?
Did you witness the video?
You may answer my question, please.
Sisulu was a victim of misinformation and deception and being allowed as a conduit by all few disorganized opposition political elements.
Who brutalized him that day?
No. You ask a question, you allow me to answer. No. If you want to be the guest here and the interview, then you just choose one, Mr. C. But if you ask me a question, you gave me the opportunity to answer the question. I think that is how journalism well. The video of Sisulu is on Facebook. Do you see for the massacre there? Do you see any leaders and executive of the CDC-COP there? No. We have a group of opposition politicians who can go to any length of defaming people. The CDC-COP.
So the violence against him was not done by CDC-COP.
There should be no space of any Liberian citizen to be flogged or be treated in any wrongful manner. It is wrong. We condemn that act. We condemn the action as far back. It's on Facebook. We have statement of that.
All right.
It's not this need to ask this question. We condemn that. But you see, you must always investigate the root cause of some of these things before coming out. Sisulu was a victim of being used by opposition political elements to fight their, which is wrong. You cannot use children to fight your political fight. If Cummins, if Wake, if Yombi want to fight George, where they come out, they cannot be using the schooling grouping. So, Mr. Singh, you should be asking the school unification party who sent them out, who used them.
Is the CDC? Is the CDC? Is the CDC? Is the CDC using you? Our leaders of the CDC are using you because you are saying the soup is being used by opposition. I know for a fact that you support the government of Liberia. Are they using you?
As you know very well, and like I said anywhere, apparently, if you want to agree with me that maybe you are being used by opposition political element because you are asking questions that are not confirmatory of our topic today. And so should we now agree that because of the way you're asking questions, so you're being used by opposition politicians? We say no to that. That is what I say. Misinformation is very much pernicious. It is dangerous, Mr. C. The best thing you can do for your audit, you see, and for some of us, and this is our arena, this is what we have chosen to do. We understand the tactics. We have operated with some of the biggest propagandists in the country. We understand the workings, the mitigators of this thing. And so trust me, we can be here for the next 1 hour and I will still remain this. If you think that being used, if you will call a Liberian citizen asking that the peace and stability of this country more important is being used by government, I agree. If you say that I'm being used by government because I appreciate a president who for the very first time in the history of the country have provided free public university education for all Liberian citizens, I accept to be used. If you think that you will tell me have been used by government because this government has passed the Abdullah Kamara Act within free speech.
For that, I want to ask you a question.
I accept to be used, Mr. C.
I ask you a question. Are you being used?
And I answer your question.
Yeah, but you are making it to look that I'm telling you that you are being used. That's why you're trying. But I know that's what you would do. So I want to know for the days, are you employed?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, and that is a personal thing. That's a personal thing. This is your platform. It's not here for people personal thing. It should be for national issue. Like you said, the politics of today. I understand the pattern. And trust me, we're gonna be here. I understand the pattern. It doesn't matter.
So you don't wish to tell me whether or not you are employed in Liberia?
It's my personal life.
All right. That is fair. That is fair. Do you receive instruction from CDC leaders for the things you do at CDC-COP? And are you an auxiliary of CDC?
We have said this on many occasions, and I'll say it again. The CDC Council of Patriots is a civil rights political movement. Mr. Say, in your own political understanding, do you think?
So you are not a civil rights. You are not a civil rights movement. You are a political movement now, right?
No. Okay. We are the Liberia's first and only civil rights political movement. Like I said.
And you think that is true? And do you think that is true that you are Liberia only and first civil rights movement in our country? And you also said you are the biggest. Yes. And you say you are the biggest. And do you think that is true?
It is up to you. It is up to you to now do your own survey, your own studies and research, and to ascertain the statement, because on the last time I checked, we remain a conduit between the Liberian people, the patriotic Liberians of this country, and the political system. Because you see, no civil rights institution is void of politics. The civil rights people serve as a conduit between the political side and the good side. And for us who say, no, listen, we have two frictions of the device. Like Martin Luther King once said that in terms of national importance, you cannot be neutral. You must have a side. For us, we say, if you want to call all Christian people, if you want to call all sellout, if you want to call all the West adjective as in the witch, it is because we support our country. And the government of the day believe that it is important when you are a true citizen, you come together, collaborate with the government, and let the government do this. Because you see, like I told you earlier, if this country goes back to war and chaos, you will not have this platform running here. Liberians here won't have a data.
Thank you.
And they won't have electricity. These things will not be visible. So for us as a CDC-COP, we believe that the side of the government of the day is what we support. We support our government.
Thank you.
We will no soul on the politics for that.
Thank you. And Mr. Mansakwet, many have said in the past that you were bought over by the CDC through Mr. Jefferson Tamakoji, the city mayor of Monrovia. Do you care to state for the record what the truth is?
And that is the truth. The truth is, the people that we operated with for over 4 to 5 years, as how much they bought us. How much were we bought, Mr. C? When we were risking our life, when we neglected our own personal a way forward to be with them, how much we were paid. So you see, we live in a country that the gullibility of ideas is so minute that when you are supporting party F today, they call you a sin. You are a perfect guy. When Mr. say, when you believe that it is no more time or that party F is not the alternative, and you join party Y, then they say you bought. Are you telling me that God Almighty bought Saul when he intended to pour? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that political decisions have been made on the issue of people being poor? Should we start a conversation of name of politicians that have joined almost all of the political parties in this country? After one political party to another? Should we start that conversation?
Thank you.
See, only because they understand we are brilliant young people who risk everything when we say we believe in a cause. We have survived some of the biggest misinformation. Mr. Say, I know you support what I'm staying on. And that is why I'm going to be here for as long as you want me to be. Because you see, our story got to be held. Only us can tell people who we are. The stereotype, the misinformation, people don't know. So I'm now telling you, are you asking a question that when people make political decisions in Liberia, in this country, it's about people being bought? That's another form of misinformation.
So, Mr. Masakwe,
political decision,
Mr. Masakwe,
political beliefs.
Mr. Masakwe, quickly before we get to your letters, that which you requested us to grant you the opportunity, that I want to do so. But this has been unfinished business. Final question, then we'll get to the letters. Those are two key letters you wrote, right? So you, according to you, you were CPP-COP. And then that was when you were supporting the opposition. When you decided to support the CDC, now you became CDC-COP. Let's say you said what you believe in is supporting your country and supporting the government of the day. Let's say Unity Party wins the next election. All right. Will you become COP, or let's say ANC wins the next election? Will you be ANC COP? Talk to me about that logic.
My very good friend, you know you're my man. Yeah, you know you're my man, so I understand your questions. And you always wanted me to be here. You have calculated your tribes and so forth. And so trust me, you can ask all of the hard questions. I want you to ask them. But in answer to your question, mark this. Say this particular audio.
Okay.
For as long as we exist, for as long the political variables remain constant, for as long the Liberian people believe that it is George Weah that is building rules, connecting the country. For the very first time in our country history, we have folding rule. You saw the picture of the only international airport, the Rabat International Airport. One lane, this president said he will build full. There have been challenges in working on it. You see a folding rule. For as long as this president continues to prioritize infrastructure development, for as long as this president continues to look at young people and say, look, young people should not just be battle cry people. They too should have an opportunity on the table. For as long as George we are continuing to enjoy the confidence. Remember, he won 14 counties. The CDC-COP will be for the Liberian people at all time and always. This I can assure you.
And so if, say, Bwaka wins, I'm not saying he should win or will win. I'm just asking a question. Or say Cummins wins, or say Tiaron wins, and is doing all that we are doing, enjoying the covenant Liberian people, building roads, building everything. You will become the, let's say, LPP COP or Unity Party COP, because your logic here is that whoever is doing what the Liberian people want, we are for you. Just as when you were in favor of the CPP, you were CPP COP, according to you, that's new to me. But then you became CDC-COP because you felt that CDC was doing the right thing. Finally, we want to get to the letters. Be brief.
Like I told you earlier, we are not for a ruling party of the day.
Okay.
Unlike some of your friends in the diaspora who purchase cartoon, and after that, they believe that the only way they can be fat up back home is to jump into political things and they jump from one ruling party to another. No, we're not like some of your friends.
When you come to America, will you not push cartoon?
So you need to get this very well.
Okay.
It's not about who the government of the day. No. It is about Liberia now. Our decision was predicated on a CDC that have been victims of lies and misinformation.
But then you should have named yourself Liberia. You should have named yourself Liberia's COP and not CDC-COP, because it's about Liberia.
No, you see, the issue of our name, it is not your prerogative.
Okay, that's fair enough.
We are the custodian of our decision.
Okay.
We say that the CDC-COP is what we chose. Many times when we started that thing, even some of your friends in the US and they fell that form were not crafted. But you know what we showed them? Our resistance, our consistency, our persistency. We taught them to accept us. And today, they see we are growing, we are moving, we are not bothered about names. No, they say this should be a message to even you. Who's in a group of young people that are so focused? They cannot be deterred by how you call them. They cannot be deterred by how you describe them. No, that's your business.
Thank you.
We're not bothered about that.
Let's talk about your letters quickly because of time. Let's talk about your letters. So 2 letters. One to the U.S. Embassy. And basically what you are saying to America, hey, you are a protector of free speech. And you are also saying that with free speech comes responsibility. In fact, in one of your letters, you quoted, I believe, Article 15A or 86A, something like that, talking about the free speech comes with responsibility. What are you trying to get to America other than saying, keep Jerome Vordier out of America because the allegation that he leveled against Jefferson Koji is so grave that it can bring chaos into this country. So you can't just sit there, get that guy out of your space. Is that what you are communicating here? And if that what it is, okay, go ahead then.
No. Firstly, before we go further with the conversation, let me appreciate you for asking this tough question, because apparently at times people see us on the social media, but they don't know us. And you see, misinformation is very much personal. That is how people carry false information and so forth. So I appreciate you asking these tough questions, and the Liberian people or my response. And as time go back, people will get to know us. But you see, for us, if you like, you can believe we are demons, we are not battle. If you like, you can believe we are elephants, we are not battle. The description of people doesn't matter to us because we know ourselves. We know ourselves, our life, our history, since our childhood, and where we
Father, can you just address the question because of time?
We are news. So now to the letter. This is not a political issue. It's kind of unfortunate that you started on a political footing. But today, when we went to Hot FM, when we visited Freedom FM and other radio stations in the Republic, we said this very clearly. These communications are not political issues. They are national call to duty for all Liberians. That is why we avoid being political here to the best way possible. Because, Mr. C, here's the fact. According to the United Nations Human Rights Council, on the 1st of April 2022, they adopted a resolution highlighting about how powerful and dangerous this information can be. We all know about the various crises around the world when it comes to this information. One of the very permanent and famous one is the Rwanda genocide. Radio Kigali started a civil conflict just between two tribes, and the Hutus and Tutsis. Over 500,000 Iranians lost their life from misinformation. So our communication to the United States of America and Macedonia, moreover, is clear. The American soil cannot be used as a ground where political grasshopper just wake up and just make all kind of statements without any ethical basis, evidence to prove. The American people have invested so much in this country. Mr. Say, many of you over there, you are privileged to be there. Some people were
so
there.
what are you trying to accomplish with that communication? Because I was trying to read in your letter as suggesting to America, hey, do not provide any safe space for Vordier anymore because of this outlandish or allegation that he has raised. You are saying it is not like that. So if it is not like that, what is your goal here?
As I say, you cannot be having a communication in front of you, a communication that is in the media, a communication that is being responded to by the government, and you are making such a statement. We are very clear. We call on the American embassy in here, Morovia. That is about time as we head toward these elections. The American soil should not be used as a place where people will just wake up and make wild claims that got the ability to undermine the peace and stability of this country. So the Americans, as our friends, need to, you see, we are on Facebook.
So what you want them to do now, because of this wild allegation made by Councillor Jerome Vordier, what do you want? I'm sure you want some action here, isn't it? What action are you expecting them to take now?
We are calling on the American embassy, American government to at all time. You see, for all, it's not limited to Jehovah. Anyone who will be in the U.S. and believe that it is their business or spreading misinformation, the American government need to call such person to order and let the person provide facts and evidence, or else they should be their way according to international.
And how should they call that person to order? How? Through what process that you're anticipating?
The laws are on the book. When you look at the First Amendment of the United States Constitution of America, that talk about the freedom of speech, wherein this freedom of speech also comes with responsibility.
So Jerome in America came up with this allegation, right? And he's in America. So just by him coming with that allegation, I'm not sure how he has violated any U.S. law by that accusation for the U.S. to just move in. So if anything, you are saying that what he said threatens the peace of Liberia. So why don't you just file a complaint to the U.S. government that this man has committed this crime against this state, so we want this to happen, other than just writing a letter that you're trying to instruct the American what to do and you're not being direct what you're actually looking for? That's why I asked the question, what do you want them to do now?
The first thing, are you speaking for a point that because your family, your children are not in Liberia, and you call those statements mere statements that is not against national? You cannot be doing this.
No, I didn't say mere statement. Those are your words. No. Hold on. I didn't say mere statement. I used the word outlandish allegation. I didn't say mere statement. Pay attention carefully, please. Pay attention carefully. I have family in Liberia that are over 100 plus. Go ahead.
Let us go to what you are trying to call a mere here or try to lessen here.
I use the word outlandish. Then you say mere. Do you not know the meaning of that word outlandish?
Imagine me telling you, Mr. C, that it is John Brown who killed your dollar. And at the end of the day, John Brown walks the street freely.
And what don't you think Jefferson Koji is capable to take on this mantle all by himself? Why you chose? Why you felt the need to almost like come and fight for Jefferson? That is how some people might see it. Do you think Jefferson does not have the capacity to take on this case?
You say you. No, it is how you see it. But like I said, your understanding, your interpretation of us, it doesn't matter.
I'm asking questions, my man. Stop saying that. I'm asking you questions. I'm giving you the opportunity to explain yourself. All right? This is not a debate between you and myself. I'm asking you a question as a journalist for you to explain yourself better. So go ahead, sir.
Many times, when other groupings in this country see issues, when they see ills, when they see challenges of the government, when they express themselves, you don't ask them you don't ask them a question, why are they fighting for opposition?
You think so?
It is very saddening that an issue that got the ability to make two families to be at war with each other. Those two families are friends. They are supporters. And you want us to just sit and watch it. We say no to that. So for us, it's not about individual here. It's about maintaining the peace and stability of this country. And you see, we are heading towards elections. These white claims, this will be said as a precedent. Any other Liberian, it will not just be limited to one need. Any other Liberian that will want to sit in the U.S. and just issue insightful statements, white claims without fact, without evidence, people who hold history, or just accusing people falsely, we will always call on the American government. Because you see, The American people are the first group of people.
Have the Americans ever listened to you?
So the embassy will also go to and say, look, people in your country are making wild claims and statements that got the ability to bring families to go and logo here and logo here. Work and start small.
Thank you. Further, Mr. Masakwa, let's talk about your other communication to the Ministry of Justice. One thing that caught my attention in there, you are asking the Ministry of Justice to act and stop media institutions who are giving airtime to individuals, especially Mr. Jerome Vordia in this case, airtime to express what we all know to be allegations for now. You are asking the Justice Ministry to act and stop the media institution from broadcasting because you said they are being used as conduit to disseminate false and misleading information that can plunge the country into chaos. Don't you think you are going too far? Isn't that the work of the media to give people the opportunity to express themselves?
If it is the work of the media, it comes with responsibility. Journalism is a very serious profession.
That's true.
It comes with factuality. It comes with credibility. It comes with evidence-based reportage. Mr. C, as you brought me on your platform here, if you just allow me to just make any outrageous statement, you are endangering your platform.
Not necessarily. If I'm asking you questions, on that which you said that is outlandish and why enough, yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm asking you questions. And that is what I'm trying to do. You're asking you serious questions about your activities. And now you will provide the understanding to the public and then they will be the judge. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. But you see, when the information that I'll be providing are very outrageous, like I said, then now it is your work. It is ensured within your professional duty to ask me, Fode, where is the evidence of this particular claim?
That is true.
Thank you. Thank you. At least we agree on something.
Oh, yeah.
So now, according to Article 15A of the 1986 Liberian Constitution, it provides every person shall have the right to freedom of expression, being fully responsible for the abuse thereof.
That is correct.
So like you call me under your platform here, anything I say on this platform, I'm here accountable. But you are also a partner in it because you are the one that provided your airspace. I hope we are getting somewhere now.
We are getting somewhere, but I have disagreement there. Anything you say here on this platform, you will be held responsible. As a media institution, if I only allow you to say anything that may be misleading without asking the necessary question and even support you in that with an agenda, then I will share some responsibility. But if I'm questioning you on something that you have said that we need clarity on, I am only seeking the truth from you, and you will bear the responsibility of whatever. That's how I see it. Tell me if you see it otherwise.
Good. You see, you just knock the hammer on the nail. Once you support it and you encourage it, spoon effing, consistent attitude of airing hate messages to prove a point to her the 114 million fraud scandal that Waterstone currently swims in. They have resulted and reduced their platform to be an attack door that will only spread out hate messages with our evidence.
So may I ask,
And you see,
what is your proof that the media institution you mentioned is spewing out hate messages in our community?
the insightful statements and those wild allegations by Jerome Vadian. Then you have an angry and jobless Eugene Falcon who sits on the platform and wants to come back in the government. He doesn't know.
I thought you said we shouldn't talk about people employment. You wouldn't tell me whether you are employed in Liberia, but you want to talk about another person's employment?
You asked me how Spoon it can carry out, and they are hateful statements. So you allow me to answer.
Go ahead, sir.
When Spoon panelists will swim in attacking people without evidence, where there are a lot of families that are victims of this attack, and you want me to believe that is an insightful statement? No, it is. It is. So, you see, many a time, some people can underestimate us, maybe because our morphology, our physical morphology is not a giant sign, maybe because we are not shouting. No. Hey, this movement, this CDC Council of Patriots, we are very powerful people. People follow us from all over the world. When we read statements, they are sound. The world respond to it. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Information has responded to our letter. And if you go check on Facebook, you will see it around.
And that makes you powerful.
Spoon Network has been called. The Spoon Network has been called to tell you that our information are fact. Spoon Network has been called. Spoon Network has been informed about their attitude of inciting violence in this country, about using the same very aspect that the government get it. You see them? When the government is going to refuse to give people airspace, the government infringing on our right of freedom of expression. This thing government passed the Abdullah Kamara Act, decriminalizing free speech. You can go ahead, you can do anything you want to say. Spoon FM got the frequency. The government gave it to them. Now the regulation, you cannot be using the airway as a political commodity to incite violence. So everything that we wrote in our letter, God, thank you.
So you rather Spoon FN right to operate media institution be seized because according to you, they are flooding the community with insightful information.
The Bible says that if your left hand will call you to sin, Mr. Anthony said you must cut it off. When your mouth, you must shut it off. When your eyeball, you must pluck it off. It is God. It's God that says so.
So today.
So when I Spoon FM will be the cause for this country to go back to 8 dark days, 14 years of civil war, where our sisters were raped, where people were beaten, people were killed here.
The CDC chairman,
it should be shut down.
The CDC chairman, Mamba Modo.
Any other media platform. All right. They should be shut down if they want to incite violence into the country.
Thank you. The CDC chairman, Mr. Mamba Modo, was asked this question referencing your communication, requesting the Ministry of Justice to shut down any media institution that will allow what you call hate messages to be dumped into our community. And he said that is not a position of the CDC, and that is not something that the CDC will condone. You are an auxiliary arm of the CDC. You support the CDC. You support the government. So there is a disagreement here. Don't you think you are getting ahead of yourself here? Is there any coordination between you and the CDC?
I think that is very fair enough. And to have some claims to clear some of your doubt. Because many a time you believe that we are paid, we are bored. Also now you ask me, simple I can pay and board or whatever we coordinating. Also somebody will get out. Also somebody will take that money they give to you, then you can coordinate. It tells you that this movement is an independent movement. We are not at the mandate of anyone. We believe in our country.
our contribution is important. We too are factor in this country. We have a role to play in this democracy, and we play that unbendingly, unwaveringly. I think your question now, it answers many other things that you have been insinuating about. To tell you that we are independent people. For us, we don't take credit for anyone. Once it is against the state, once it is about protecting Liberia, we don't need permission from anyone. We don't need permission from anyone. We as independent people, we make our own decision at the National Executive Council of the CDC-COP. God, thank you, you know that now. So the CDC-COP is a very independent movement.
Thank you.
Independent movement that runs for own affairs.
Our understanding is that the CDC-COP is not a registered institution in Liberia. Do you care to state for the records whether or not you are registered in Liberia?
You get all kind of funny political parties in the country. Then I see your money people like us. People that when we issue statement, we can be responded to. People that when we take national debate, you can call us to interview us. We have big platforms that we appear. The CDC-COP that appear on Voice of Africa.
Will you care to share a copy of your registration documents then to prove it?
No. We cannot share that with you. And because the last time I checked, I don't think Voice of Liberia. I say a focus on Liberia, FOL, and share their registration documents in Liberia. Other stuff. You see, these things are not important. You cannot continue to find way to believe that you can micromanage a group of young people who are playing their own quota towards their country. So you think we will not register people will be serious people in the country? No. In your own mind, Mr. Say, you think we will not register people will be people that people can respond to?
All right.
Do you think that in your mind?
Thank you. You can be serious if you're not registered. I don't think because you're not registered, you're not serious. Maybe you're not ready to register yet. Maybe that's what it is. But Foley, time is fast spent. We have been in conversation with Mr. Foley Emansakwe, Secretary General of CDC-COP. According to him, it was CPP-COP, something that we never heard, but that's why he told us that's breaking news for us today. Mr. Emansakwe, we appreciate your time. We'll give you the final opportunity to close with whatever you want to leave our listening audience with. But this is my final question. Where do you see the CDC-COP 6 years from now?
I told you, we are here. You will continue to see us. It is so saddening that some people who want to see that, but trust me, you will continue to see us. We will continue to be active in the body politics of this country. When you look at our ages, we are all young people with good amount of age who will be around. We are factor. We too belong in this country. Anything that people want to do to circumvent the peace of this country, we believe that people should not go back to the butchers. We believe that there should be no shortcut to the presidency. For the CDC-COP, if you want to be president of Liberia, if you want to take state power, you will do that through the ballot board. But for now, we have two demands, two singular demands, very clear, in a very clear, unambiguous manner. One, our American partners, our traditional ally, the very good America that have invested so much into this country, should not allow angry people that are in the U.S. to come, to use the American soil as a hiding ground to send and spread insightful and hateful statements in this country. We say no to that. We call on the American government to act in conformity to protecting the peace and democracy of this country. The second one, to the government of Liberia, you have started a very good footing. We appreciate that. We read the communication for the Ministry of Justice, for the Ministry of Information rather, on calling Spoon FM to the President of Liberia to sit down, to re-regulate our workings. We believe that's not just enough. When Spoon cannot bring any tangible facts to substantiate those claims of making one allegation, reducing a media platform to a political hunting dog, Spoon FM, be any other media institution, they must be shut down. We are very clear on compromising about that. We are very clear. And we believe, Mr. Say, as we head toward election, you people in the media, you people that have passion for the media, this is not a political thing. You should be telling the political actors. The issue of this information is very much pernicious and dangerous to echo. Politicians should reach out to people, convince people to get their support. If you want to start dividing this country, Liberia will be plunged back into 14 years of civil unrest. We don't want that. We don't want to see that. We have our children, we have our family, we have our wives, we have our mothers and our sisters. Some of us, our people are here. Every one of us, we're here in this country. If this country go back to war, those people in America that are making war claims, majority of the people, they will not feel the pain. They will not feel the bunches and the bruises of war.
Thank
they
you.
won't feel that. It's all that on the ground. We are the one that understand the issues. So we believe that everything should be in accordance with peace and stability. The only way you will remove Georgia is when you go through the ballot path. There'll be no shocker for that. So we remain unbending. Thank you for the opportunity. Our communication are out there. You can ask the response. We'll be doing follow-up in a matter of days. We'll also be sending an official communication to the Homeland Security in the United States of America. This thing, we're not joking about it.
Thank you for that.
We will come to a long-term conclusion of this.
Thank you.
A very long-term conclusion of this. And we believe together we all protect the state. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming to our call. We appreciate you. Well, folks, that was the voice of CDC-COP Secretary General Foley and Mansakwa saying that they are a very powerful people because when they write communication, they get responses. Well, this is how we will come to the end of this interview with the official of the CDC-COP. I'm Anthony CA, and I brought you this interview with the Secretary General of CDC-COP. You heard him, and I'm sure you heard him well. You will now be the judge. I asked the questions I felt necessary to give him the opportunity to explain. But before I take leave of you this evening, I will have with me officials or members of the Liberian People's Party. They will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be discussing the Liberian People's Party's option to elect Councillor Tiawan Gonglo as President of the Republic of Liberia. Dr. Augustus Roberts is the chairman of LPP USA. He will be here. Mr. Cisse Goya is a member of the Liberian People's Party, I understand. And Dr. James Panado is the chairman for Planning, Platform Policy, and Policy Committee. Also, Junius D. Zoga II is the Secretary General of LPP USA. These gentlemen will be sitting with me as I ask them serious questions about this announcement that Tiawan Gonglo is in this to win it. According to Tiawan Gonglo, he will win it in the first round by 65%. So I'll be asking them question, what are their options? Of course, we'll talk a little bit of national issues before we get to this LPP train that they say is well greased and fueled to take off for Liberia. On that note, the song says we are all Liberians. That song is taking us home. Until I see you this evening, when we will be hosting the Liberian People's Party, enjoy the song that says we are all Liberians, and indeed we are. We definitely are all Liberians, irrespective of how we see it, how we see ourselves, and what our ideologies are concerning our country. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our home. Liberia people. Liberia, we want. Liberia, oh. Liberia, we want. Liberia, Liberia.